Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel, and I am super excited because today we are making this rose and strawberry cheesecake macaron cake. It's an entire layer cake made with the layers of macarons, and we're going to top it off with some mini macarons right here. And there's lots of flavors and textures going on here, so let's get straight into this recipe. You are absolutely going to love this.
The first thing you want to do is sift your oat flour. Now the oat flour that I've used here is just your regular instant oats that you get in the supermarket. I've just ground them to a fine powder and passed it through a sieve and kept it in a container. I've scooped up the required quantity and now I'm sifting it again over here. While I'm sifting, you'll also notice that there are a few larger chunks there. You're not going to try to push that through the sieve. You don't want that. You're going to discard it. Now once you've sifted the oat flour, we are going to begin sifting our icing sugar. Now pass that through the sieve, and with icing sugar here, it's okay if you press it against the sieve for it to pass through, because you know that there aren't any larger lumps. It's just going to pass through the sieve very easily. So you do that, and now you're going to just combine this. You can use a spatula as well. So combine these dry ingredients and leave them aside. We'll need them later. Now let's begin working on our meringue. So here I have some egg whites which are at room temperature. All the quantities and the ingredients are down in the description box below. If you want to make this eggless, you can replace the egg white with aquafaba as well. There is a different recipe on my channel for that, and I will link it down in the description, and it will also be on the screen. So here now on a low speed, the lowest speed setting of your electric beaters, you're going to beat this for 3 minutes. It will go foamy like this. Now after 3 minutes have passed, you'll increase the speed of the electric beaters to medium. And now slowly you're going to start adding 1 spoonful at a time of caster sugar into this mix. Remember, for the next 3 minutes now, you're going to beat this egg white mix at speed 3 or the medium speed on your electric beaters for 3 minutes. So initially 3 minutes was on the lowest speed setting, then for the next 3 minutes on the medium speed setting. You'll see it's reached soft peaks at this stage. Now we will crank it up to the highest speed setting, and you're going to mix this for another 3 minutes. So 3 minutes on low, 3 minutes on medium, and 3 minutes on high speed. You'll see that the stiff peaks are nearly there, but now we want to color our meringue, so you're going to add some food color. And I also want to flavor this, so I'm going to add some rose extract. Make sure it's extract and not water, because water is going to be very liquidy and it will change the texture of the meringue. Always use flavored extracts at this stage and not any kind of water. Now again, for just 1 more minute on the highest speed setting, you're going to whip this, and after a minute you will see that it has achieved its stiff peak. So we mixed or whipped this meringue for a total of 10 minutes. You know it's ready when you invert the bowl, and when you flip it back, you'll see that the stiff peak still retains its shape. That's perfect. Now let's start adding this egg white mix that we just whipped into our oat and icing sugar dry mix. You're going to add a little at a time, and then you're just going to go along the sides of the bowl and then swipe in the center like this. So this is the action that you want to follow while you're mixing the egg whites with the oat and icing sugar mix. Now initially it will feel like it's extremely difficult to manage, and you're going to think that it's never going to come together. But keep at it. Just keep adding the rest of the egg whites now. And follow the exact same procedure where you go along the sides of the bowl and then swipe it in the center like this. Now once it all starts to come together, you want to be really careful. You don't want to over mix this, because if it gets too runny, the macarons are not going to hold their shape while they bake. So after you see that it has come together, just test it after every couple of swipes. It should fall into smooth ribbons that don't break apart. This is what it should look like. As you can see, it's making that perfect ribbon shape and it's making that infinity sign very, very easily. You're going to transfer this into a piping bag. Now here I have a baking tray lined with parchment paper. I've used the base of a 6-inch loose bottom cake tin to make my round 6-inch circles, and then I'm going to flip that over so that the marker does not come onto the macaron as it bakes. I'm going to take a little bit of that macaron mix and I'm going to add it on the tray so that my parchment paper sticks to the tray and it doesn't move around. Now you're going to hold your piping bag perpendicular, which means you're going to not try to hold it at an angle. It's going to be straight up, making a 90-degree angle with the tray, and you're going to pipe swirls like this until it reaches the end of that circle. As you can see, I've held that piping bag upright. You don't want to hold it at an angle. And then you're going to repeat that with the other circle as well, and you're going to just tap it against the surface of your worktop to release any air bubbles on the surface. You're going to go in every direction and tap the tray like this. You'll notice a few air pockets or air bubbles start to appear on the surface. So you're going to take a toothpick and you're going to burst those bubbles. Now you're going to let this sit in an air-conditioned room for at least 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to take the rest of the batter. There'll be a little bit more of that macaron batter. What you're going to do is you're going to pipe mini macarons on another tray lined with parchment paper. While that's happening, you're going to preheat your oven to 150 degrees Celsius. And once the oven is preheated, first you'll bake your larger macaron shells or the 2 macaron discs, and you're going to bake that at 150 degrees Celsius first for around 10 minutes. Then you're going to turn off the oven, and then you're going to leave the door slightly open and let it sit in that oven for another 10 to 11 minutes. The macarons will be baked, the smaller mini macarons will be baked at 150 degrees Celsius for 8 minutes. Then you will leave the door slightly ajar and you're going to let that tray of macarons sit in that oven for another 8 minutes. Now, as you can see, our macarons are ready. You're not going to peel this off immediately. Let it sit for another 15 to 20 minutes till everything cools down. That's very, very important. You do not want to peel this off right away. It will fall apart. While all of that's happening, we'll make the filling. So here in a bowl, I have some mascarpone cream cheese at room temperature. I'm going to mix this on a low speed with my electric beaters. Into this, then I'm going to add my whipping cream. This is dairy-free whipped topping. Into this, I've also added some rose extract. And on a medium to high speed, I'm just going to keep whipping this until we get stiff peaks. That looks perfect. Now we'll transfer that to a piping bag fitted with a Wilton tip. I've used a star tip. Now, as you can see, that our macaron has cooled down. So I'm going to start peeling it off from the parchment paper. Be very, very gentle and very, very careful while you're peeling this. It's not exactly difficult. You just want to be careful and you don't want to rip it apart or rip it from that parchment paper. You just want to be gentle while you're doing it. As you can see, our discs are safely out of the parchment paper. Now we'll start assembling our macaron cake. So I'll take one disc and I'll invert it. On top of that, I'll start piping little dollops of our rose flavored mascarpone whipping cream. Now in those spaces that you see there, we are going to fill it up with some strawberry jam. Now you could use store-bought jam, but I've made my own. It's very easy, just some strawberries and sugar that I've cooked till it goes nice and jammy. I've listed all the ingredients and the quantities down below, so don't forget to check it out. So this is the jam that I'm going to start adding in those crevices over there, in those spaces in between the piped dollops. And once that's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to top it off with the other disc. Now ideally I would love to let this rest in the refrigerator for an entire day, let the flavors just absorb really well. Similarly, I'm going to pipe my mini macarons as well. 1 dollop of the frosting. I'm going to take a spoon and make a dent in the center so it can make some space for that strawberry jam. Now I'm going to add a dollop of that in the center and top it off with the other macaron shell. Repeat this with all the other mini macarons and let them rest in the refrigerator for an entire day. Now this is the next day. What I've done is I've just assembled it roughly first. You want to place these on the macaron cake first and just arrange everything. And when you're happy with the look of this whole thing, you're going to take some more of that frosting that we made and you're going to stick it all in place. So basically this frosting also acts sort of like a glue, helps keep everything in place. So once you're happy with the arrangement, you're just going to glue it in place like this. You also sort of want to make little swirly bits with that frosting just to add a little finishing touch to this macaron cake. And as you can see, our rose and strawberry cheesecake macaron cake is ready and it looks absolutely stunning. It is such a showstopper. If you have a special occasion, a birthday, or if you're hosting a dinner party, this would make for such a stunning dessert. So let's just cut right into it because I really want to take a bite. It's super tempting and looks and smells incredible at this point.
So guys, this is it. This was my recipe for the rose and strawberry cheesecake macaron cake, and let's just give this a go. You can see that the top is really nice and it's got a beautiful crackly crust and the inside is marshmallowy. And then there's also the filling. You can see the frosting, which is flavored with rose, and the strawberry jam right there. So let's give this a go. That looks incredible. You can see all of the elements are in this one bite. You really have to give this a go. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, then please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. I'll see you again in another baking video. Until then, goodbye and happy baking.